Hey there cinephiles, welcome back to a very special video. We're doing a series of Halloween specials leading up to October 31st. We're looking at the Scream franchise. So one by one we're going to be reviewing all 4 films, starting off with the very first one, the classic.
Yes.
Here we go.
Enjoy. Gonna be a scream!
Hear the music.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
So I want to know who I'm looking at.
So a year after her mum dies, a Ghostface killer haunts this teenage girl and her friends, and they all have to band together to essentially stop the killer and identify who the killer is.
Yeah. So it's essentially almost a very violent version of Cluedo.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
a detective game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This film revitalized the horror franchise, I think.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was pretty in the toilet there for a little while. And the master horror director, Wes Craven, essentially brought it back.
Yes. So this was Wes Craven, obviously most famous for, well, I mean, Scream now, but at the time, Nightmare on Elm Street.
The good one.
The good one.
Yeah. The third was good too. But, yeah.
And it was scripted by Kevin Williamson. And, I mean, the first one just launched the whole thing, and it just blew people away. At the time.
Totally. Yeah.
So I think I mentioned when we did our top horrors of a couple of weeks back, I'm fairly new to the horror franchise, to the horror genre. I didn't really start watching them until well after high school, purely because I was too scared of them. The only one I really ever saw before finishing high school would have been Alien. Apart from that, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, all those ones I didn't see till well after. And it was actually Scream that got me into horrors. I just happened to be at home one time, it was on Foxtel, and I was like, okay, let's just watch it, see how it is.
Yep.
And I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, wow.
And
wow, that's really cool. I think when I first came into it, because it was at 1996, I believe it came out, right? Yeah. I would have been 13 years old at the time. So I saw it when it first came out, you know, got the VHS, rented it out, checked it out, watched it with friends.
Yeah.
And because all the characters are teenagers, we were teenagers as well. So we kind of got what was going on. We could identify with those characters, straight up. So I watched it a little bit earlier. Yeah.
So we've got to talk about the opening, the famous opening.
Yep.
We are going to keep light on spoilers. We will do a few spoilers towards the end of the review.
Yeah. But seriously, if you haven't watched Scream, you should probably stop this video now.
Go watch
it. Come back to it later, and go and watch it. Yeah. Seriously,
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Stop what you're doing and just go watch this movie.
Yes.
It's just a brilliant movie from beginning to end. Amazingly written, so clever, so precisely and so expertly written.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great script.
Yeah.
Essentially, right from the opening.
Yeah. So yes, the opening.
Yeah.
It kicks off straight away. You get pretty much a 3-4 second little logo at the beginning. You get the Scream title coming up with the phone.
Yep.
The classic phone ring.
Classic phone ring. There's a shot on that, and
it literally starts Drew Barrymore picking up the phone.
Yep.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah, it doesn't mess around. That's what I love about this film.
Yeah.
You know, we get to essentially, you know the characters through the actions. Essentially, there is a plot, there is a thread going, and the characters were introduced to them. But It's not bogged down at all.
No,
it just
not at all.
It's very tight.
And what I loved about this movie is that Wes Craven, obviously, being a master of horror, he knows the cliches and the predictability that horror movies tend to go down.
Yep.
And he embraces that and completely turns them on their head.
Right.
So when I first saw it, and Drew Barrymore was the first person you see, and I like Drew Barrymore, but when I first saw it, I was like, okay, here we go, typical horror opening. It's going to be a blonde person. It's always a blonde girl who's the first victim, and I'm like, why? Every single time.
Yep.
But that's what the movie does on purpose. It
Right.
sets you up to be like, okay,
Here's the cliche.
here's the cliche.
Let's deliver that, and let's have fun with that.
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, Sydney comes in, Neve Campbell, and this is a heroine that we have never seen in a horror movie, at least modern day horror. She does remind me quite a lot of Nancy in the original Love Man on the Street.
Okay, yeah.
That kind of like strong female, really doesn't take crap from anyone kind of character.
Yep.
And Sydney is very much that.
Yeah.
And Neve Campbell she just gives such a strong performance in this movie.
I think I like Sydney more.
Then,
over Nancy.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
But you can kind of see it's coming from the same director. Like those seeds are there. And then from then on, I was just like, holy crap, this movie is not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's not your typical slasher film. It is a slasher film.
Yeah.
But it's a new kind of slasher film at the time.
Absolutely, and I guess because I don't know which character you gravitated more towards. I loved Randy. I mean, here's the character who essentially knows movies inside out. So I guess we kind of have something in common with Randy. But it's essentially the plot of the entire movie has that slasher film like you were talking about, but it has fun with it. This is actually a funny movie.
Yes.
In spots, but there is still a thread.
Yeah, I would say it's equal parts comedy as it is horror.
Yeah, but the right balance, man. It's perfect balance.
Because the comedy isn't at the expense of the horror, and the horror isn't at the expense of the comedy.
Right.
And it knows when to go which path.
Yep.
And it won't just throw in a stupid joke in the middle of the chase scene. If it's having a chase scene and it's an intense moment, it will go for it, and it won't jeopardize that with a throwaway line.
Yep.
And same as when it's having a comedy scene, it doesn't have any stupid jump scares coming out that that make no sense at all, just to catch you on edge.
No, it's better at building tension. I mean, it does have those jump scares, but there is essentially real tension. There's a real threat.
Yeah, honestly, apart from 2 jump scares, I can't think of anything else in the movie that's actually a jump scare. It's much more suspense, and you can see that almost that Wes Craven might have even taken a page out of Hitchcock's book, where it does play around a lot with shadows, the movement of the curtain and lights flipping on and off and things like that, and a door opening, the creaking of a door kind of thing.
Yeah. Definitely great use of sound. In many sequences through this film.
The score, Marco Beltrami does a fantastic horror score, and it feels like a 90s score. Yeah. But listening to it now, it still feels relevant today.
Yep.
Which is something I wasn't expecting for something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess because it doesn't really use too many dated cliches.
No.
Which is kind of interesting, given that this is a slasher film.
Yeah.
In many ways. So it definitely takes its pages from that in terms of what the film is, but the score itself is quite memorable. Great melodies, but it's not dated. That score could essentially be used in another film coming out today, and it would work.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and the way that the 3 main leads, Sydney, who's Neve Campbell, and then we got Courtney Cox and David Arquette, the way the 3 of them, their stories intertwine, it flows very, very well.
Yeah.
Because they all come from 3 very different backgrounds, and they have to team up against, and unite against this single enemy.
Yep.
And it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like they're just trying to get different personalities in there just for the sake of it. They come into the story very naturally, and you feel like they they earn their right to be there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's interesting. You know, just
Yeah.
great characters.
Yeah.
Once again, it's storytelling one-on-one. But what I love is when they essentially find out what's going on. We're introduced to these characters, but then they really band together. Like it's actually that's what I love about all these films. Is it's actually a great ensemble piece in many ways.
Yeah, the side characters are equally as entertaining.
Yep.
Matthew Lillard, who most would remember Shaggy and Scooby Doo.
He was such a good Shaggy.
Like, he really was.
Yeah.
And in here he's got some of the biggest laughs in this.
Absolutely.
And then you got Randy and what's the name?
Gail.
No. Sydney's boyfriend. Billy.
Billy. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, like again, 3 very different personalities,
Yep.
and it's this eclectic group that comes together to form this really entertaining whole.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you've also got, of course, Rose McGowan's character, Sydney's best friend.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
McGowan.
Dewey's sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Ghostface. Let's talk about Ghostface.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's now one of the most iconic villains in movie history.
Yep.
Just that mask.
Yep. And that voice.
That voice.
The voice delivery.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ghostface is a fantastic killer just because he's so scary, and at the same time it's a fun game where you're trying to work out who is behind that mask.
Yeah.
Whereas other movies, Michael Myers, it's Michael Myers, and it's Freddy Krueger, and it's Jason.
No mystery there.
Here, he's literally just called Ghostface, and you don't know who it is.
Yep.
And in every single Scream movie, there's always someone that you've seen before, and you're like, who is it?
Who is it?
Absolutely. They never once just spring out this brand new character you've never seen before. It's always someone you've seen. So you never know who to trust in these movies.
That's right.
And
you're right. It's Cluedo, essentially.
Yeah.
Detective game.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out.
Very much.
But see, that's what's so great is it's engaging you to be part of the story.
Yeah.
It's not just throwing all these kills at you and becoming a standard horror flick. The story engages you, and I think that is what sets this film above other films in the horror genre.
Yes, definitely. And it's very self-referential as well. It never breaks the fourth wall, but God, it comes close to it.
It's just the right amount.
Yes. Yeah. And like there's moments like when Randy's watching Halloween, and on screen you see Jamie Lee Curtis and Mike Myers is behind her. No, not Mike Myers. Michael Myers. That would have been weird having Austin Powers broken. And you turn around, and on screen really is Ghostface right behind Randy, and we're like, Randy, turn around. And things like that, and just the whole all the cliches like in every single horror movie people split up. Like, why do they split up?
Yeah.
And in here, they're like never say we'll be right back, and the next line is Matthew Lillard, I'll be right back, and they're like, ooh.
That's right. And you don't get drunk at parties. You don't lose your virginity. Yeah. Yeah. So all these rules, he's essentially laying out all the rules.
The rules of how to survive a horror movie.
Yeah.
And actually, if you think about it and you apply those rules to other horror movies, they actually work.
That's right.
It's kind of funny just how accurate they really were.
Randy really knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin
Williamson really knows his stuff. He's a
Kevin
scriptwriter.
Absolutely, yeah. He gets it.
The whole thing of, the main girl is always a virgin, and it's true. In nearly every single horror movie, the one who survives is the virgin, and if you're a virgin, you don't die.
That's right.
The second you lose your virginity, you die.
It's all over.
And it's true. And Scream it embraces all these rules and horror conventions, and it just plays with them so wonderfully.
Absolutely.
And also throws in some great lines from other films, like when the killer's revealed, you get that great Anthony Perkins line from Psycho. Yeah. We all get a little mad sometimes. And so, okay, we're going to jump into spoiler territory now because we can't talk about
now.
We can't talk about the ending without talking spoilers.
Yeah.
So, the killers, plural. Did not expect 2 killers.
No. See, once again, like that breaks the rules in some way. So essentially, like rules are introduced, but then broken.
And it's great because you never really think there could be 2 people.
No, it's never. Yeah, not one thing that we would ever think of in this sort of movie. We always expect it to be one. Yeah.
So the main villain is Billy, and at the beginning, when there is the attack in the house, and then Billy rocks up a second later, he's got a phone that falls out of his pocket. They're like, yeah, okay, he's the killer.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets immediately excluded, saying that he couldn't be the killer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's tangible proof, and you're like, yes, he couldn't have been the killer.
Right.
Because he wasn't a killer.
Right.
It was actually Matthew Lillard at the time.
That's right. So yeah, Billy's actually at the police station. Actually
and,
held.
And everything just fits together so well. And you're just like, who could this person be? And it's one of those things, if you just go with your gut feelings, your first reaction was the correct one.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And it's just funny how it does that.
Yeah.
And at the end, you see Matthew Lillard.
I thought it was the Fonz. I really was thinking it was the Fonz the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about the Fonz. The girl of that little cameo was Craven
so
appearing as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
That was great. He's got the Freddy jumper. He's getting his name's Fred. But back on track. The ending. So this for me, I think this is one of the most memorable endings in any kind of horror, thriller, anything like that.
Yep.
It's got one of the best openings and one of the best endings.
Yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know if it was actually topped in any of the sequels. But we'll get to that.
I think number 4 comes very close. We'll get there when we get to number 4.
We'll get to
Number 2 and 3 definitely don't.
Yeah.
But number 1, it set a benchmark.
Yeah.
For just movies in general.
Absolutely.
I think.
There were so many imitations that came out.
Yeah.
That didn't get it.
No.
Did not come close.
Really did not.
You know, where it was trying to push the comedy angle too far.
Yes.
You know, and it was just forgettable movies. But that film, it is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It is a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got no hesitation. I'm giving Scream 5 stars.
Yep. 5 stars for me as
5
well.
stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hands down.
You didn't make the rules.
The police are always on track. They watch prom night and save time.
He just kills by them. Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to hide.
Everybody's a suspect.
Not scared, are you? Squeak.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course let us know in the comments below what your favourite line is from Scream 1. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Some great lines.
Classic, absolutely classic. So make sure you do all that. Of course, stay tuned because we're going to be doing all the Scream movies.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got 3 more to go, and that's leading up to the end of the month for Halloween. So until next time guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm Robbie.
See you at the movies.